Hi. Why do we actually get self-education, or we educate ourselves, or we go to universities and we get our PhD, for example? It's, a real person who really seeks education, or to be an intellectual person, knows that every step, every movement to evolvement, to know new things, uh, to them means that they still know nothing. They discover that they still know nothing. So when a person gets a good education, and they get their masters and their PhD, it's not because they want to prove themselves, or they want to uh, show off about it or brag about it. It's good to get accreditation for what I'm doing, but to make the other feel that they are nothing because they didn't get a degree, this is not education, and this is not being intellectual. I still remember when I went to community, which my sister Hatun actually she created that, and she built it. It was about once a month, and each professor or each PhD carrier would talk about their specialty, so the others would get the benefit. So I was there when they were talking about women in Islam, and it always hit me a verse in the Quran which is talking about specific thing about women. And when I asked the question, it was, well, I have to say that it was known about me at that time that I have just finished high school and I didn't get into university. So everybody knows that uh, they know nothing about my plans. I wanted to study abroad, and what I was doing at that time. I went to an institute. It's a famous one, and I just did what I like, which was secretarial duties and things like that, just to waste time and at the same time do something useful until I get to the age where my dad would permit me to travel abroad and study, because he wouldn't permit me to go when I was like 18. He said, no, you have to have a base in your morals, ethics, religion, and then you can go. Otherwise, you will go and you will never come back. So, anyways, um, so it was known about me that I didn't go to university, and maybe it was me, I don't know, but some of them, they were professors, they were looking down on me because I didn't go to university. And when I asked this question, why it has been said about women this and that, I wanted to understand. The professor, the one who was leading and who was explaining things, uh, she humiliated me, and how dare you ask such a question, and since it's in the Quran, then you don't have to question it. And of course, I have a different way of thinking. Of course, God wants us to understand and to know things. It's not true what she said, and I was embarrassed in front of everyone. At the same time, it didn't hurt me, but I was annoyed. And then, after the lecture, we would stand all together, and we would talk in groups. And I heard her. Someone was asking her about the same question, and she said, "I don't know." When you learn things, and when you are well educated, you won't hesitate to say, "I don't know," because you know that the more you know, you will end up knowing nothing. This is real. And if you get educated and get a degree, like a PhD degree, and to let's say to fulfill your ego, then this is not the reason of you get educated. This is not education. This is not being intellectual. The more you intellect yourself, or the more you get education, the more you will feel humility. You will be humble, especially towards people who don't understand, because so many things that we don't know about. No one knows everything, so it's good to ask, and it shows that this person is smart because there are questions. But By the way, I got, when my dad permitted me to travel, I got my first bachelor in English literature and translation. I translated a book which was written by Dr. Mustafa Mahmoud. He was an atheist and he became a Muslim. Very interesting book. I got all the answers for my questions in that book, and it was a turning point in my life. So I translated it as a graduation project, and then the professor told me that it was big enough for me. If I would add to it, then I would get my master's. So I did, which I did, and I got my master's. And then all my life, I'm always passionate about what's beyond. And I was looking for a university to study this with depth, and I found one, thanks God. And they told me that I had to repeat everything, the bachelor and the master's, which I did, and then until I got my PhD. And I would still go on no matter what certificate I would get, because I love this subject. So it's not, you're not getting the PhD so everybody would call you a doctor. There was this friend who, at that time he wasn't a friend actually. We met in an office and he gave me his card, and everybody was calling him by his first name. And then when I looked at the card, I saw in the end, his name first and then comma and then PhD. And I really looked up to him and I was impressed. This is a well-educated person. This is an intellectual person. Bye.